All right, we're here at IBC 2017 at the Aputure booth, our first station, and of course we
You came here first?
Yeah,
oh, my heart's so warm.
Wonderful. Like, are you going to tell me a little bit about your new products?
Absolutely. So basically, we have one major release here, and that release is just the news that the 300D is finally going to be shipping. It's sort of the light that everyone's been waiting for, that they've been looking for. It is finally coming out. The date that we have is October 1st.
So how is that different from the 120D? Is it
Absolutely
more powerful, or what?
Yes. So the 300D is about 3 times as powerful as the 120D.
Wow.
Are you using the 120Ds a little bit? Or are you
Not yet.
panels?
I didn't have the chance yet, but I'm looking forward to.
The 120D, honestly, I think is revolutionizing the cinema game because so many people, when you want to use chimeras or when you put modifiers onto your light, you can't do it because lights are so hot.
Right.
You need flame retardant technology. If you think about chimera, it's half firefighter, half filmmaker.
Yes.
Which makes sense why a softbox would cost you $10,000 to $30,000. It's insane.
Right.
With strobe accessories, you don't need flame retardant gear anymore, which means your softbox can now be $150 and you still get that same soft glow. You can carry it around, you get a moving softbox.
But it's still Bowens mount, right?
Bowens mount, yeah.
Because I literally live in a photo studio because of my wife.
Yes.
And I used to use her strobe lights.
Yep.
But that's not ideal, you
Yes.
know? So I'm very much looking forward to use your video.
I think since the beginning of time, we've all wished, what if I could just put my modifiers onto my light?
Exactly.
What if my light was just a soft moving light and it was on one damn stand and I could move it around? We do silk lighting all the time. We set up 4x4 frames. We have to do all these things.
Right.
All of a sudden, you're using 8 stands for one light.
Right.
What if I just had it all on one light, on one stand, on battery, and I could just walk into the woods and have a soft light?
I mean, I have to say, even your small panels look absolutely amazing. I use it 90% of the time for my videos.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a couple of examples here.
Oh, man.
And I've been so happy with it because you have to be, it has to be light and you have to be nimble.
Yeah.
And your product is actually the only solution that I get to use on my day-to-day work, right?
Are you being paid to say this? This is
true. Look at the videos. I'm going to show it. I'm going to put it in the video. It's absolutely true. I have a couple of back making off shots where you do see the lights on small tripods with Sony NP batteries.
Oh, you got to send me these photos, man. We're a super young company. We're under 5 years old. We've only been doing this like, to hear that users are using it, we're all word of mouth too. You'll never really see a magazine ad from Aputure. That just is not a thing that we do.
See, up to a certain point, as a run-and-gun videographer, you have to like find things online, looking up on Amazon and eBay and manufacturers from here and there.
Yes.
And this is actually the first thing that brings everything together, like products for run-and-gun videographers like I am.
Yes, I think we're one of the first companies to actually say indie filmmakers and run-and-gun videographers and the one-man band, that's us. We're not here. A lot of these companies will price for studios, and they feel bad when indie shooters buy it because they're like, oh, we didn't price for you.
Yeah.
We were pricing for the studio that was going to buy 340 units. I'm sorry that you had to buy one.
Right.
But for us, we priced for the indie shooter, and for the first time at NAB last year, Disney came and they wanted to buy some lights, and we actually had to sit down and say, we really appreciate this, but you're actually not our market. Our market is indie shooters, and it's flattering, and thank you, and for being able to say that our work and our gear can be used on that level. That's the best. But we're never going to leave the indie market.
Sure.
You guys are the guys that we care about making gear for.
Wonderful. And I do see that with your output online, like on social media, whatever. Like when I'm online, I see 2 brands, Aputure and Adobe. That's all I see. Because you have such a big output. How do you do that?
We don't sleep. And if you guys are watching this at home, I got a shout out to 2 of my favorite people. There's a guy named Neris and a guy named Boima. It's literally 3 of us, and we produce all the video. Neris and Boima. Neris and Boima. Shout out to Neris and Boima.
Man, I've been watching all your stuff all day. I mean,
we constantly, we have a very, very ambitious video schedule, and the reason for that is that as a manufacturer, we have two choices. We can either spend all that money on magazine ads, on radio ads, on TV ads, but to be honest, we're shooters and we don't think that's interesting, and we also don't want to bother shooters with ads. However, if we can introduce some content, we're all shooters ourselves, if we can teach something new, really provide something of value, and still advertise at the same time, that's what we think is the best.
On a personal note, let me ask you, are you working with some influencers, creators, YouTubers? How's it happen?
Yeah, so the way that we work with influencers is we basically just say that we'll give out gear, and we ask and say, you know, whatever you think about it, say it honestly. We have never, ever, ever said, oh, we want to pay for you to say this good thing about it. That's not what we do. However, influencers need gear, and we love it when people talk about our gear. And again, we don't pay for traditional marketing, so
everybody's happy
if people just talk about it. So I always ask people, when people ask, you know, oh, I love Aputure, I know about Aputure. Again, this is new. This is a very new feeling for us. When they say this in the first place, I always ask, how do you know about us? Because chances are it's always a person's name. Oh, I know about it from this guy, or this person likes it, or something.
That was the first thing you asked me when I approached, and I have to say, I just looked it up, I bought the product, and I was just freaking happy.
And the fact that you're talking about it right now to people, I mean, that's, you know, I'll take that over a magazine ad any day. And I get a call, I'm not going to say from who, but I get a call every week, basically from people saying, oh, well, you spend this much amount of money. If people can talk about it, which is why I am okay with sending out gear for free, if people
they're willing to communicate, right? It's more authentic.
Absolutely. Well, if you don't like it, don't say it. That's okay. You can say that you don't like it. It's feedback for us. Honestly, all the gear that we've made, if you're on the user groups or you're online, the feedback that people give us is what shapes the product. And it's the reason we can make exciting gear.
Yeah. And you've got something like that 1 minute film school thing.
We're trying really hard. Yeah, it's
I love it.
Thank you.
Man, I've been doing this for 15 years now, but I love to watch that because it's great content.
Thank you.
I mean, even if it's just basics, amazing. I actually, last week I had the case, somebody was asking me, and I was sharing your video.
Because
that answers your question.
It's to be honest, that's my favorite part of this job. Is it's fun for us to make content. We're all filmmakers, and I think one of the things that we realized when we were making gear is we're all filmmakers, but all of a sudden we started spending less and less time on set because we're working and we're making gear and trying to get research and talking to customers. And for us to go back on set and say, hey, here's how to light a car, here's how to light a table scene, here's how to shoot this, and now. Because the people that are using Aputure gear, actually I would ask you about this, because the people that are using Aputure gear are doing such exciting work with it now, we all of a sudden know all these DPs that we didn't know before. Because I think DPs like to huddle in and make a small group of friends that they work with all the time.
Exactly,
Because of meeting people through Aputure, we can now ask people and just say, hey, do you want to come on and teach a tutorial? And the amount of feedback and overwhelming love that people have come on and given us just talking.
Absolutely.
There's honestly just too much to be thankful for, but we have a lot of fun doing it, and we really like it.
To wrap it up, you've been doing a great job. It's great products, and we love videographers like me, and we know that what's important.
Absolutely.
And so is there any other product you want to talk about?
I do, but I gotta go fish it out.
Yeah.
I gotta go find it. You were the first person I'm showing this to.
No way.
Anyone on video stuff right now?
Oh my God.
Nobody knows that Aputure has a new release. Sorry, I'm making out. I need to say that again, Akon. You're the first person I'm showing this to.
So this is world exclusive?
In fact, I'm not even supposed to show this to most people. This is a world exclusive right now.
Okay, guys. This is world exclusive on our channel. Here we go.
This right here is the new Aputure MX. Now, if you guys are familiar with the Aputure M9 light, this is basically the Pro upgraded version. However, in terms of function, this is an entirely new light. So first of all, if you guys know what the M9 is, very small, credit card sized light, pocketable, you can bring it anywhere. TLCI and CRI ratings of 99. Internal battery powers off of a Sony, you can basically power it with any cell phone charger. This right here is the new version of that light. Aircraft grade aluminum, brass construction, super tough. I can kick this thing, I can play hockey with this thing, whatever.
But it's also cooling the device, right?
Cooling the device here on the back. You know, Aputure, you use the panels, you understand it. Okay, cool. When I turn this thing on, this right here is going to be 5 times brighter.
Look at that.
5 times brighter than the M9 light.
Yeah.
Extremely, extremely powerful with a built-in diffusion, of course, on the front here.
Wow.
You can see this already before I mention it. Bi-color. So right here, if I want to, I can change the color temperature, just like that.
This is amazing.
TLCI and CRIs of 97, 98. Here you go. We're still a prototype. We're going to make it lighter.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. Extremely, extremely small. Size of a credit card still. Built-in screw here. A lot of people for the M9 were asking, you know, I love this light. It's so portable. I can Velcro it and put it anywhere. Now you've got a thread here, so you can also mount it anywhere. Say your tiny C-stand, your tiny tripods, wherever you want. You can put it on stands, anything like that. Aircraft grade aluminum with dimming on here, and as well, there's now something called boost mode. Boost mode, so already we're getting 5 times the output, right?
With the extra power.
So LEDs, they can actually be pushed for a little bit longer.
Wow.
So you can actually get 50% additional brightness by powering it on, and boost mode will give you 50% brightness for 1 minute.
This is smart.
So we're talking 7 times to 8 times brighter than the M9.
See, sometimes when I was using the other panels with NP batteries,
Yes.
I noticed that when it's plugged into the power, you have more power.
Yes.
And sometimes I was doing that on purpose, just to have more power.
Yes.
And you built it into the product now.
Built into the device. We can push those LEDs a little bit harder if you want.
Just for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. Just to get that output. Now I want to be very clear about something.
Yeah.
This is a prototype.
So you have no idea if it's shipping or not?
We don't have an idea if it's shipping or not. We don't know when it's coming out. However, one of the things that we do with Aputure products every time we come out with one is we have our prototypes, and we do something between 1 to 3 rounds of feedback with DPs, where we'll put it on the table with a bunch of Los Angeles DPs and say, hey, tell us everything that's wrong with this product. And it's that feedback that leads us to making our next renditions. So unlike a lot of products where I've shown at trade shows and said, hey, this new thing's coming, we're 2-3 months out, that's after we've done feedback already.
Well, that's what prototypes are for, right?
Yes. This right here is strictly a prototype. So if you guys are asking for a release date, I don't really have one yet. If you guys are asking for pricing, I don't have one yet. But if you guys know Aputure, you know that we're gonna fight like hell. We're gonna fight like hell to make this as affordable as we can and the best product that we can too. So already,
I mean, while you're watching this, let us know what you think about this product and the structure and the ideas that they put into the product. So,
and we're always online. You can message us anywhere, Instagram. You know, we're on social all the time. Post that feedback, and we will see it.
All right.
And if you want to message me directly, send me a message on Facebook too. We'll see it there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure.
So much,
and we're looking forward for new products from Aputure.
You bet. Appreciate it. Thanks.